Even when there's blood in the streets, the strong eat well. I thought twice about using that quote today, but I went ahead and went with it for a couple of reasons. The first is, it is true. The fact of the matter is, the smart, the strong, those, and by markets, when I say strong, I mean those who are smart and can read a chart and know what to do in the circumstances. Additionally, you will see a lot of self-dealing at times through the government, through the banks, through big industry, big media. You will see them taking care of themselves. How do we protect ourselves? Well, that is forearmed. Forewarned is forearmed. That is another good quote for us to talk about. Being able to read stock charts, being able to read what's happening on the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, what's going on the volume, to help you understand exactly what is happening. And that is what we strive to do here with you and for you every day, is to follow these charts and understand how things are transpiring and what is happening. Now let's jump first into the S&P 500. It was an up day for stocks. S&P 500 up 1.75%. And people say, wait a minute, I thought banks were having problems, inflation's out of control. What's going on with corporate earnings, a war in Europe, issues all across the board. How is the market up today? Well, could be something to do with the problems with the banks and the fact that there might not be another raising of interest rates that might fuel, the market inflating and going up even more. Who knows? All we can do is follow what we see. And as we look at the big chart, we see we have a down week underway, high volume, red down candle, wick on the bottom. We look at the 2-day chart. We see that price is below the weekly trend line as we look at it. And we see that we have a doji here. We have green volume because the doji's just barely green. Again, don't see things flipping around just yet. This first day of the latest 2-day candle, we do see again, lower volume, not as high as it was before. Still has another day. If volume's really high and markets are really booming up, then of course it could take out our trend line. So we will pay close attention to where things are. We can see, of course, price closed at 396.11, and you can see where that transpires on that top chart, because if I move away, it goes away. You can see it's right there at the top of the red candle, right up there near our trend line, even on this weekly chart, 196.11. So it's just below it. We'll pay close attention again as markets get going in the morning, and we'll see if things start to really bleed out and really start to turn over. We'll be paying attention to that. We did have a big up day, and we pushed up on that trend line, so we'll pay attention to it. We'll see how this latest 2-day candle gets to closing on Friday, and we'll see if this down move is going to continue. We have pushed through the 30 EMA. So again, we'll see just what's happening. Now the NASDAQ 100 up even more. What do we see? We see where the market topped. We've talked about this a few times back on the week beginning the 30th. And then with that volume, and then as the volume reduced, and we saw, the candle size reduced, the volume stayed up. And then we had this reversion, and we've seen, all this over the last 2 weeks. We've seen dojis, but all of this incredible volume with very little movement in the candlestick. Just what is going on? Well, that's showing us a great deal of indecision. We can tell this latest 2-day candle volume is quite high for just the first day of the latest 2-day candle. High in the morning on the half-day candle. Average in the afternoon. And again, blowing through we can see over the course of the first day of this latest 2-day candle heading up. So we'll get a good feel for where things are on Friday, where they might be going. Now, again, we moved a little higher this week than we were in those prior weeks. Haven't gotten up to that level yet where things had been before, around the 310.20 mark, something like that. And of course, that past top that we had, the high of 313.68. So we'll keep an eye on things and see where stocks are going. Now, we move on to bonds. Bonds, of course, had been up in the morning and then rolled over in the afternoon, down 0.78%. Nonetheless, we see we've gone into our second week. Bonds are trying to penetrate that 30 EMA high volume for the week. Saw where things really spiked up on that Friday, and then last Friday and this Monday 2-day candle. Tuesday, Wednesday, not as high. Thursday, again, we'll see where the volume finishes up, but high volume, both of those 2-day candles. And again, we've seen pop up, up, and now down at the end of the day. We'll see where bonds are going, but again, still in a confirmed up move. Gold up a little bit for the day, 0.20%. Again, we can see on this half-day chart where gold had peaked most recently in the morning on Wednesday, and then sort of devolving a little bit on Thursday, and at the end of the day, we got that little red down candle. But overall, again, up just a little bit, 0.20%. And again, decent volume for the week. Gold popping, and we'll see how it goes on Friday. If this move is going to continue, of course, we may have a topper on gold somewhere around that 181, 40 mark, 70 mark. So let's see where the prior high was. That was 181.22 and 181.73. So again, we'll see if gold is going to sort of hit up here and burn that off again. You know, you can look on the 2-day chart, see where it did that before also, and get a feel for where gold might top and may start to lose some energy, or, bound out of that range and really spike even further, which would be great. So that is where we are on gold. Lastly, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin up for the day, 2.36%. Of course, as we look at the weekly chart, we had those 2 weeks of devolution. This week, decent volume, trying to move up. We can see where things had popped up on that prior 2-day candle for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then this first day of this latest candle that'll finish drawing tomorrow, not reaching that prior high. You can see down in the morning on Wednesday, up some on Thursday, but not up to that prior high. So we'll see where Bitcoin leads us. Patreon members, of course, we sent out to you our 3 wave trades. Sent that out to you yesterday evening, along with the weekly vertical crossovers and the charting cryptos and commodities. Hope you enjoy all 3 of those special trainings. If you'd like some of that stuff, become a Patreon member at any of our 3 levels. We so appreciate those guys underwriting the work we do here at Charting Wealth. We love to hear from you. You have questions, issues, things you would like us to do. I am going to be working on trend lines this weekend to put that training out for you. It will be a trio. We've already put out volume. We then put out Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, and next will be trend lines. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.